Folks, welcome back. Audio looks good. Yes. In that case, let's get to it. Welcome back as always. I'm Fritz, and we're doing some more historic Brawl, and today we're doing Alaundo the Seer. He's a 3/5 for 4, 2 colorless, a green and a blue. His ability is a bit long, so we'll just go over it quickly, which is basically tap him, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand, and put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value. It gains when the last time counter is removed from this card. If it's exiled, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature this way, it gains haste until end of turn. And then remove a time counter from each other card you own in exile. So a few quick things to cover on him first, just mechanically. You must exile a card if you have one in hand. You can exile lands, but you are never given a chance to cast or put them into play. They're basically just dead. You are allowed to cast it at that time, regardless of whether or not you'd normally be able to. That's something this deck actually takes advantage of. And it follows all their cast without paying mana cost rules. So X must be 0, kicker costs can be played, etc., etc. So that said, I have been tweaking around and playing with this deck for the last week. You might notice that this curve is a little different. And what I've generally found with Alaundo is there's, for starters, he's a tap to activate commander, which means you have to protect him and keep him alive. The second one is that trying to cast very high cost spells with him tends to not really pay off. So if you try to put a 7, let's say you try to put Ancient Silver Dragon, it's still in the deck. If you try to put Ancient Silver Dragon into play with Alaundo, your opponent sees what you are trying to do, and they will blow Ancient Silver Dragon up. On the other hand, putting things like, not necessarily Wash Away, but stuff like Witness Protection, Search for Zenticae, Frogify, Kazmina's Transmutation, putting a bunch of cheap stuff that you can then activate by tapping him tends to go through a decent amount of the time. There's one big card that is not in this list, and I'm hoping that people will understand why when I say it. So there's one card that's not here. It's Paradox Engine. I didn't put Paradox Engine in this list. I don't like Paradox Engine. I have a sneaking suspicion that playing Paradox Engine... Let me back up for a minute. Let's queue into a game and then I'll explain what when I say I don't like Paradox Engine, I'm tired of playing against Paradox Engine decks. I have a sneaking suspicion that putting Paradox Engine into your deck increases the chance that you are going to get matched against a deck that plays Paradox Engine, which right now means getting matched into Rusko. Does getting matched into Rusko happen even if you're not playing Paradox Engine? Yes. Do I feel like I've jinxed myself and this first game is going to be against Rusko Paradox Engine? Kind of. But you could add that in. It would be very useful. It would let you do some wonky stuff. I am just tired of Paradox Engine. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to think with it. If you want to make an Alaundo deck and you're like, I want to make this as good as possible, just from a purely strength standpoint and not a matchmaking queue standpoint, yeah, run Paradox Engine. It's very good. I am personally done with that card. I don't want to see it, and I don't want to think about it. But our first match is not against Rusko. It is against Scythius. So I've also... I might mulligan this. I've made a few last-minute tweaks to this deck, for lack of a better way of putting it. I'm curious to see if they play out in a way that works out well for me. So they're opening with Protection on Scythius. Let's leave one blue open and threaten the Wash Away. They'll still probably play Scythius. It's cheap enough that they're probably willing to just take the risk. Yeah. So let's just opt. I want more land. More than I want that. Gretchen. That's a nice block. Toss out Gretchen. Other thing I should warn about today for this stream. Long story short, I did that thing where I hurt my back a little bit. And so occasionally if I bend too much in certain directions, it's shooting pain at my spine. So if there's a moment where I just go, ah, really loudly, and then just creak around for a moment, that's what that is. That's called I'm over, 20, and apparently that means your body just goes, haha, we quit, and you never get to have nice things again. I'm going to get rid of you for a moment. So we have a lot of equipment replacement stuff in this deck. If it gains protection, it can't be enchanted. We'll see if this becomes relevant. So I'm pretty sure they can give Scythia's protection from blue with the Elysiad of Life's Bounty and drop Kesmina's transmutation off. I'm not sure that they will do that, but they always could. I'm kind of optimistic that they won't spot that that's an option open to them. Okay, that's real bad. And also changes up my... And that's real good. Alright. Please tell me you're not a human. No, you're a halfling. Mutate. Okay, I love Armingala. Don't get me wrong. Armingala is a very fun card. It's a very cool card. If I let it stay in play for more than 2 turns, I will lose this game. That's literally all there is to say on that topic. Armingala is fantastic, very powerful alchemy card. So for anybody who hasn't seen it before, basically everything in your deck gets bigger every single turn. Sorry, your deck, your hand, your graveyard. Yeah. It's very bad if you let it stick around. Do I go for Ren and 7 here, or do I go for something else? I might go for... Okay, let's go for Red and 7, because Hullbreaker is starting to look like our best option to get out of this. Yeah, we need more lands. Oh, I can't... Oh, I had a lot of obstruction. Whoops. I scuffed that. That's neat. I haven't seen this card very often. I wonder why not. It seems pretty decent. What is its base? A 2-1. 2-1 first strike for 2. Ooh, that's bad. Oh, we're hosed. I'm very hosed. And that gets rid of both of them. Yeah, I think I might be hosed this game. I should have dug for cheaper removal. Yeah, no more Ren. Can do Alaundo and start digging for other options, but yeah, that was a bad play on my part. Oh, and you know what? You know what's probably not set up properly that I should go fix right now? And I also appreciate you, Kyle, for stopping by to help me fix everything. Let's do that. And move that there. Does that look better? Hopefully that all works out. Anyway, back to the game that I'm getting butchered in. Is that lethal? Not yet. I don't think I have any outs, though. Ooh, Hallowed Haunting is a good card. I feel like you do see a fair amount. Maybe the reason you don't see Eidolon of Obstruction is that the enchantment-based decks are usually Goshentai. And because of that, it doesn't necessarily have a place in that deck. And 10 and 13 went off lethal, but I don't think it makes a difference. Well, on the off chance they do something very silly, I don't think there's any single card. I don't have any Whelming Waves or anything in this deck. You could make a really aggressive Alaundo the Seer control deck, but I just didn't feel like it. Ooh, did I have the mana for Hullbreaker Horror last turn? I think I did. And I missed it. Even if I'd gotten rid of it, though, I would have just returned it back to their hand. It still wouldn't have made a huge difference. They would have still had enough angels for the lethal. So. Can you tell that my energy is like a little bit dead today? It was a productive but tiring day. And yesterday was like a big work thing. I wonder if they have cast. Haha, it's time for me to cast Fog. Just kidding, I don't have Fog. I just wanted that off the stack so that this whole thing could finish up. And my back is killing me. I think it's because I just lay down wrong somehow yesterday. There was a big... Alright, so I don't talk about work too much because one, it's boring. And it's not magic. And two... I think it's a little... Well, boring is the wrong word for it. I don't think anybody who's really interested in magic is really interested in hearing about what my day job is. Short version. Went to the office for the first time in a long time. There was a big, like, office party thing. Hey, there's Rusco. I called it. Game 2. Ugh. Allosaurus Shepherd does a lot if it was in my opening hand, but I don't have any green. Hey, there's Wash Away. Keep 7. Man. Okay. Rusco. Let's talk about Rusco for a moment. I was talking about this with some folks earlier. I've been debating what my next project is going to be. I am toying with it being... taking basically a good hard look at Rusco and his current position in things. And whether or not... like, what needs to happen? Because I think there's a lot of people that agree that Rusco is a problem. It's not everybody. And I think that... so here's the other thing, is that for some of the people who don't see Rusco as a problem, I think they actually have fairly legitimate reasons for having that view. Let's see if this gets countered. It does not. Okay. Actually, I can just go into this because I started... writing this whole thing up recently, which is, I think there are basically two groups of people looking at Rusco right now. Does it make sense to just fade from history that? Not yet. Let's do Alaundo instead. One group is... oh, I just scuffed this. No, I didn't. I didn't unless they have... no, I might have. Do they have negate? I need... no, I did scuff this. I need one more green. Unless they overcommit to getting rid of my commander, then yes. Yep, you could have your counter. I offer you a trade. How about you get rid of all of your stuff and you get a bear? I might have played this a little too aggressively, but I'm hoping they don't have Swan Song. Okay. You're not... you're... I mean... I didn't kill you. Okay. Basically, two groups of players, and specifically people who might be facing off against Rusco. No blocks yet. You have people who are doing competitive historic Brawl. In the vein, let's go with this. So you've got CHP players. We might have to crack Veil of Summer here. Next. No attacks, end turn. You got CHP players, and you have, like, basically general casual players, right? For if you're a CHB player, I think that your general position on Rusko is he's a very good and very powerful. I can't counter that. So they get another stinking block. He's a very good, very powerful commander, but he's not unbeatable, right? He's very good, but he's not like broken to the point of necessarily deserving a nerf. He just might deserve to be moved into help queue. And that's one position. And then you have the second group. The second group of players is looking at Rusko, and they're just everybody else, including... I'd group myself into this. Like, I am aware... Let's see if you saved mana for a counterspell. But, yeah, I have no reason to let you get Jin-Gitaxias out. Get rid of Elvish Mystic. So Fairy Vandal is a late addition to this deck. Let's get rid of... that. Let's play that. And may as well hit for 2. Okay, anyway, so you're going back to this original point. You're a CHP player, and you're like, yeah, he just needs to be in hell tier, or you're a casual player, and you're like, I hate this, he needs a nerf. I think that Rusko doesn't need a nerf. I think that the level of the decks that he's currently forced to play against is not, to just put it mildly, very fair. Rusko is, like... Okay, why will you cast that on him? Oh, because you're trying to dig for cards. Well, what happens if I just do this? I want to get rid of your Midnight Clock more than anything else. Now, presumably... Yep. Yeah, he's mana ramp, he is win condition, he is survival, and he is card draw in one card. And that is very good. Doesn't make him unbeatable, but it makes him, to put it like mildly, pretty aggravating, right, to play against. Chunk block the bear. Didn't I cast you? I guess you'd only gets haste until end of turn. So, aggravating, very powerful card, not much fun to play against. And we haven't really gotten a good way to deal with him. Well, we do. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here. Rusko's really good. Like, aggravatingly good. And we have not gotten appropriate tools to counter him yet. And because we don't have those tools, man, okay, scratch that. Rusko's really good. If you're a very competitive, high-power player, you're like, he's good, but he's not good enough that he's, like, broken. And if you're a casual player, you're like, I hate this, and I want to stop playing against him. I think that what he needs to be is in the correct matchmaking tier. I don't think he's in the correct matchmaking tier. In fact, I'm almost positive that he is not in the correct matchmaking tier. Block those two. Wait to see what the two passes are going to be. Malakar Rebirth. I'm fine with that. None of those warrant playing Veil of Summer, especially now that it'll cost me more life. So, very powerful, noxious card that does everything at once. And really needs to have... Yep, I'm aware. But it would be nice if something was done about it. Yeah, I can see what's going on, game. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's kick this. Player. Actually, let's wait. Let's do this since it doesn't count as draw. That's a lot of good cards we just gave up, but c'est la vie. Okay. I need to hope that he doesn't have two counter spells in hand, right? I think I'm just betting everything on the fact that they either don't have two counter spells in hand or can't draw into two counter spells. So... yeah, let's do that. They won't declare any blockers. Let's do this. 2+1 counters here. Target a player. Target a creature you control. Target a creature you don't control. Let's do full control. This is about to get weird. Okay, game. The purpose of the full control... yeah, I tapped full control so that I could respond and tap Alaundo to put indestructibility on my stack, but I guess you do not care about that. That was kind of the point. Oh, I'm grumpy about that. There's a reason I hit full control. We'll see here if this person plays a lot of Rusko or not. What are the odds that I can find a way to... alright. Okay, not drawing cards is doing me no favors. Let's get rid of that. Hexproof from... yeah, but hexproof is not protection. Next to combat. State-based action goes down to 4. Yep. Okay. Now tap, upkeep. Yeah. So technically, they didn't really need to do that, but I guess this means they can try to cast a cantrip on their turn. But yeah, I am... Okay, highest mana value is going to be... Yeah. Yeah, I'm tired of... Rusko's very powerful. He should be in a higher tier for matchmaking. The fact that he's not in a higher tier for matchmaking feels stupid. End of conversation. Let's move on to the current one. Anyway, what I found with Alaundo is that trying to use him to cheat out big stuff isn't really worth it. Because he's a 4-drop, it takes a while to get him into play. And then actually trying to use him effectively to do stuff once he's in play is difficult. I see what you just did. Annoying. Okay. I want to go get some cards. That's 3 mana for a card, right? But I only get 1. And I can't repeat. I'm going to take 4. Yep. Alright, let's do this. You know what's really cool? Actually drawing non-land cards. Gotta be one of my favorite things. Coma is probably not enough to spin this game, unfortunately. The fact that he can't be countered, then I've got Veil of Summer. Depends what my opponent's hands are. Depends what version of Rusko this is. Interesting. Oh yeah, because Rusko... Yeah, so Rusko just does too much to be matched into low tiers. Oh, but that's the other part, is so that Rusko doesn't necessarily present a problem the same way that... I think he's just going to go for the kill. Yeah, I draw a card, and that card is not hard removal. I die. How obnoxious. Rusko doesn't break other formats, right? And because Rusko doesn't break other formats, unlike Nyambi, it decreases the odds that we're actually going to get a appropriate patch for him. Yeah, that doesn't do enough. I don't know any way to make... I have any way to gain life? No. Do I have any... Hey, guess what? I still lose. Yeah. You know what? Let's make this funny. Exile Animal Elves. You know what? Actually, let's, I haven't 100% lost yet. No, I mean, I've probably lost, but I just need something that gives me, well, I need something that gives me a lot more life than anything I have in this deck. anything else I've got left. I already know that I spent the other card that gives me a lot of life. I would need a... That's not it. That idiot chief. Yeah. Anyway. Rusco. Longer video to come on that at some point in the near future. That said, I'm not sure if there's much point in making the video in the next. So, Niambi got a fast patch after 7 weeks, right? If we don't see Rusco moved up in tier with the release of the next set, then we're pretty hosed. And we're unlikely to see that happen at all, is my personal opinion. It's Jin-Gitaxias, which means it's probably a control list, which means Gretchen is fine and Swiftfoot Boots is fine. We'll keep. Let's do Dream Route into Gretchen, and then Swiftfoot, put Swiftfoot on turn 3. Pay 2 life. Gretchen. Yeah, so it's probably a Jin-Gitaxias control list. It could be one of the fun artifact lists instead, but I lean towards it being a control list. We're just going to quickly put those there. Yep. Oh, or it's just ramping into Jin. That could become a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so they pulled into Despark and then threw away Despark. Let's do Alaundo. I don't have enough to move the boots. Let's see if it's just Jin. It'll probably just be Jin. No, Ugin. Ugin -3. Yep, gets rid of Alaundo. That might mean they don't have the mana for Jin, though, or they're playing more cautiously. Also means that they probably should have thought about the fact that I have X-Foot Boots out. I'm gonna wait to throw Growth Spiral to play until after they actually play Jin. Okay. Silver Key, Sky Scanner. Yep. This looks like it's closer to an artifact list. Seven minus 3 is 4 and 2. Let's see if they've got negate for the second copy. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. E 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's play Atlanta War Elves. Let's hope they don't have the mana to do anything super big. Could be wrong. But that does get rid of their ability to remove my card draw. Mystic Forge. Okay, so this... Interesting, they're playing that instead of playing Jin. Do they have enough for Jin? Oh, is this Paradox Engine? Is this Paradox Engine Jin? This is looking like Paradox Engine Jin. I don't like that. Okay, Brain. What do we do to try to beat that? Also, tap that for green, because I want to have my blue open for fading. Let's see if this resolves. And... if it's Paradox Engine, I'm going to be annoyed. No, Chromatic Ordinary. Alright, so now we'll see Jin this turn, finally, and then Chromatic. No, because Chromatic is Legendary. What is this? Okay, play Jin. Congratulations. You counter artifacts, instants, and sorceries. I see no reason to spend any mana. Ooh, are you going to do recursive casting? Like this one that targets mana values permanent 4 or greater. That doesn't hit my board. Let's get rid of Haughty Jin. Alright, you are now actually out of real counter spells. So, let's do Fading Hope. Oh no, it got counterspelled. Great Henge. I will toss and search next turn. They're going to have an indestructible. That's not as big a deal as it could be, honestly. I'm a little surprised they're not using Wizard Spellbook. Ooh, are they going to hit Great Henge with it? Opt is interesting. I feel like it would have made more sense to keep the Wizard Spellbook. Oh, but did they just get what they wanted? I would have kept the Wizard Spellbook open until the end of the turn. Oh no, I guess you can only activate it as a sorcery. Alright, I guess this is janky Jin Texas. I'm actually kind of fine with that. Where are they getting all... oh, they're just playing everything off the top with the Forge. The fact they can sack the Sanctum. Green spells you control can't be countered. Let's do a few things. Starters. Let's see if you've got a counterspell in hand. Instant speed worm coil engine. Oh, you get double worm coil engine. Don't love that. Alright, good news. No more Ginny Gittini. Bad news. 2 copies of worm coil engine. Ooh, and you would have been useful last turn. But I don't have you yet. That's what I would call bad. I wonder if they're just going to go for spinning up the top of their deck. A reason to give them Jin back. 6, 12. It's kind of a shame that I have to do this, but the alternative is just losing. Yeah, with no counterspells, I am pretty much hosed. I made a few last-minute changes to this deck, which I'm a little... disappointed by at the moment. Also, I'm a little annoyed they're not... there we go. Yeah, you just need like 1 or 2 more spells, right? Is that it? 1 more spell. Yeah, alright, that's game. Ugh. Let's do a couple more. I made some tweaks to this that to like reward extra draws because I was curious to see if that would play well. So far I haven't seen those pay out too much, which is a little bit annoying. I don't know. I still think that the best way to use this dude is to build and use him to cast small, cheap cards. And small, like 2 to 3 drop cantrips and stuff like that, and then ramp into bigger stuff. We will see. We shall see. We're posting Elden Rings. One friend is streaming tonight. He can continue his quest to beat Malekith. Which would be fine, except that he is not putting any levels into anything. I'll keep... Oh, okay, why am I cute? Okay. This is not a forest or whatever, so we're going to go with that. Okay. Adeline is a top-tier commander, though the fact they didn't play anything on turn 1 does fill me with something resembling optimism. I need more green because I want to be able to play Kura by the time that I hopefully get to that turn. Lump. Okay. That's a land. I like land. We need more of those. Fairy Vandal, hold the Sun Spinnerets open. I'm actually kind of fine with hitting the flump. Again, that's more, yep, more land. We need more land. Probably should have just held, but I don't love... So, Adeline is, technically speaking, a hell tier commander. Ooh, I don't love any of the things they just played. Well, actually, it's probably better to just take the 4 and get rid of the body. That's a land. That's the last land I need, and it makes me feel much better about that green choice I made earlier. Kura, the Boundless Skies. Let's go. May as well... You know what? So this is... Let's show off what I think is the worst way to use Alaundo. I now have to activate this ability 8 times in order to get Ancient Silver Dragon out. And I put a nice big target on Alaundo. That's quite bad. They will be able to recast next turn, but let's get rid of the body. Let's get rid of that, and let's go get a bunch more land. Treasure library for up to land. Yep. So we get all my multicolored lands. Let's get Command Tower. Let's get Boy's Jazu, actually, and let's get Dreamroot. That can go to the graveyard now. Let's do Command Tower. Let's actually tap and draw. I like Gretchen, but I can get them later, right? Yeah, no, this should work. Am I thinking about this correctly? I kind of need to stall for 2 more turns. Yeah, okay. I need to get out Hullbreaker Horror, and then I need to do a bunch of stuff into it, basically. That should work. Yep. Let's just take the 4. That's going to be 8, isn't it? Yeah, we'll see. I may have stalled this too long, but I feel like I still want the... Do I want to get rid of Into the Trenches, or do I want to get rid of... Paladin becomes Into the Trenches if I get rid of Into the Trenches. Into the Trenches is hard removal. I need Hullbreaker Horror next turn. I don't have more than 1 or 2 bodies, so I've got 7. Yeah, actually, I want you. Because you'll put a bunch more stuff into the graveyard. Dreamroot Cascade. And now I hit my... Hit that, I hit that. Still enough for Boy's Jazu. Let's make the big blocker. Problem is that they can just use Into the Trenches if they use it correctly in a really annoying way. Settle target non-land permanent you can control until Into the Trenches. Activate only as a sorcery and activate only once. Well, at least they can't do it at combat speed. I think I pushed this too far. One and 2 gets me 1 more blocking body. They can't gain double strike. Alright. Oh. They attacked the wrong target. Okay, so... I can't really protect that, can I? That's probably fine. Let's do this. Draw a card, discard, sudden, spinnerets. We need 6. Sun spinnerets is 1. That's not going to be quite enough. Okay, so we're going to wait until next turn to do this. Yep, they can have the Planeswalker. They cannot have 3 more free damage on me, though. My turn. Yep, I want that. Island. Hullbreaker Horror. Okie dokie, artichokey. Let's think about this for a moment. Alaundo. Draw a card. Exile. Shore up. Yep. Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Let's get rid of... Paladin's going to be a problem. Let's get rid of you to start. Gretchen. Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Let's get rid of Zombie Warrior. Activate your ability. The Cavalier is suboptimal, but we'll take it. Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Get rid of the god. Oh yeah, I know. Oh, it even makes free spells. Okay, good to know. I was planning on that being a problem. I was not planning on dealing with opt. I want Jin to stay in play, so let's get rid of that. Now, if I was them, what am I going to do? Well... Okay. Spells your opponents cast. Boys Jazu is not a spell. Costs 1 less for each legendary. I control 2 legendaries, so... and I have green. I just gotta live this next turn, right? Let's just hold. Let's see if they just try to replay. Yep. That's what I expected. Guess what? Actually, I'll wait until they actually commit to combat. Boys Jazu that endures. I will be taking my horror back, please. Thank you, very cool. Oh. We can do a few more games. What's up, lords? How have you been? Anything interesting? Also, how is my overlay is looking? Scuffed is what my overlay is looking. There we go. Nice. Cardio or weights? I'm gonna keep this. The chat lag seem much less bad. Neat. Yeah. When you sail. Fair enough. Alright, it's first sliver. So... Gilded Goose into turn 2 Kiora into turn 3 Alaundo, I think. Or into Guardian Project, maybe. Neat. That's kind of cool. I live in my apartment with a single window most of the year. It leaves something to be desired. Nope. Alaundo earlier is probably better. Yeah. Alright. Dreamroot. Nope. Cancel that. Tap for a blue. Untap that. No attacks. I think we're still 2 turns off. Let's see if they tap Paradise Druid this turn. That's very aggressive. Wow. I'm a little shocked by that. Let's try to ramp. I like both of those. I have 3 mana to buy with, but that's not enough to do anything this turn, so we'll just end. Yeah, that's spicy. I don't quite follow if I'm being honest. That feels very aggressive, but the other option though, looking at this, is that this is not slivers. This is 5-color good stuff, which would make that decision make a lot more sense. Wrath's Tribal? Could be. It's making me think that it's just 5-color good. Yeah, that's not a sliver card. This is 5-color good stuff. Ugh. I don't respect 5-color good stuff. Alright. Does this make a difference? Let's see if they're gonna stop me from doing Alaundo again. Let's do that. I don't think it necessarily makes a difference, but I'm still curious to see what the response is going to be. That was the other thing I was thinking about earlier, is that telegraphs and why people don't like 5-color decks. I wonder if it's going to be... Yeah, this is just 5-color good stuff. What a... I don't get why I'm being matched into these with a jank list, if I'm entirely honest. But... it's what it is. Alright. Do we have enough to kickstart this engine particularly far? I see 1, 2, 3 pieces. May as well go for it. Graveyard. Been kicking down. First sliver doesn't do that much. Does let me... Let's go for a third. Double snare, I guess. I'm a bit salty about that. So Teferi is a late addition to the deck. I was curious to see if he actually has much synergy with Alaundo because of the extra card draw. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I played against this deck yesterday. It's... Okay, yep. I'm curious what the statistical odds of that just happened actually are. Yes, I'm aware. You have omniscience. Okay, this has got to be an actual list. Yeah. So now you go and get 2 big bombs, and then you just cast them. And one is probably the 3-color look for 3, cast 2, and the other is a draw card. And then you just chain these together. Or one is get target instant or sorcery back from your graveyard. The other one is also get target instant or sorcery back from your graveyard. Then you recast Final Parting. Yeah. Anyway, that's the thing about why I'm not enjoying playing against 5-color decks right now, because it's hard to tell what they're actually trying to do. Though, to be fair, that Wrath should have tipped me off that this was... I don't know, though. I've got a fair number of counterspells in this deck. I haven't drawn any of them. How deep are we? 25-ish cards? No counterspells? I'll do a count after this. And now it's going to be draw a billion cards. Yep. Your deck is not interesting. I've played against it like 5 times. The only reason you're not playing Agent of Treachery is that it's banned. Opponent chooses one of those cards. I wonder if they're going to be extra turns. I wonder if one of these cards is going to be Time Warp. Time Warp, Ruinous Ultimatum. No. Choose a card to be shuffled into your opponent's library. Sure. You should have gotten Time Warp, though. The other two are, like... It's a bit rich of me to criticize somebody while I'm losing, but these are terrible picks. Those two terrible was in a deck bit for Historic. Elvish Norn and Overwhelming Splendor are terrible picks. To be your other 2 cards. Like, those should have been Recursion and extra card draw. They should not have been... Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure I ran into this, like, almost this exact deck yesterday as well. It feels like a flex deck, right? It's not actually, like, good. It's like, here's all my mythics. And it's like, that's cool. Yeah, casual. I mean, different people have different definitions of casual. This does not feel like a casual deck to me because it's actively running Verdant Rejuvenation. So you're running, which is a little... Why does that not make me think casual? Battle cruisery, but not casual. Because running Verdant Rejuvenation is like a weird active choice to make. Same thing for for Day of Judgment, right? Since it's a Mystical Archive mythic. Right? And Savella. There's a bunch of mythics in this list, right? That are either from alternate sets or are like a little bit of a pain in the butt to get a hold of. Yeah, so play the Chromatic Ordinary. Now you're going to spend 5 mana and draw 5 more cards. Can you solve for 16? Actually, they're only 2 damage off, right? No, they've got... That's lethal. Just attack me. You know my hand. Oh my god. Alright, so... Let's talk a little bit more about Alaundo while we wait for my opponent to finish the card game equivalent of... Let's say self-pleasure, since we're streaming to YouTube and we're being family-friendly. Plus, I already have this stream tagged as not for children. Okay, so this is not... But this person is not about... It's not about winning. It's about flexing, right? It's not about actually winning the game. I've played enough paper Magic against a very against what I would politely summarize as somebody that was like the human equivalent of what this person is doing, it's not about winning the game. It's about showing off that you are very clever and smart. For example, they already had 16 damage if they'd just attacked me. But they're not doing that. They're just going to keep playing all their cards. Now, even off stream, there's certain situations in which I'll let people do out their combos, right? But you should take lethal once you have it. Anyway, let's go back to Alaundo, right? Since we're going to be stuck here for a while. What I found in testing with him, like I tried starting out with just a bunch of big creatures and then playing him and then doing it a whole bunch, is that when you put big cards like Jhin or Silver Dragon and stuff like that into exile, they become like their targets, and sort of by assimilation, Alaundo becomes a target. So what I found is that it's more valuable to toss like draw spells, cantrips, enchantment, like type removal and stuff like that onto him, and then threaten things at like weird instant speed and do other weird combos, than it is to try to use him to actually get big targets out, because he has to stay out for so long for those other ones. But for the smaller stuff, you can just go for a lot of little tiny, cool, quick combos, right? And then you use that to build up into bigger stuff. Now, if I was to rebuild Alaundo now, actually making the deck good, you probably need to add... You probably cut most of the instant speed untaps. They're not actually all that good. You maybe keep a couple of the hexproof ones. And then, yeah, the card draw synergy, that's actually a very late addition. I think there's probably something very clever in that, especially things like, what's that 4-drop enchantment that mentioned Teferi that turns one card draw into 2? I think that card draw synergy is also good. Does he go infinite with Paradox Engine? If you have something that ticks each time, yes. But you need to be ticking down by 1 each time. It's doable. So actually at the start of the stream, I don't think you were here for this, I specifically called out that I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't put Paradox in the Engine in this deck. I'm aware that I could. I am tired of playing against it. I am tired of Paradox Engine in general, to be honest. Paradox Engine is a little bit annoying. Card is banned in paper for a reason. Yeah. So actually the other little... So there's a couple of reasons it's probably not banned in Brawl. One is that I don't think... Oh my god, this person is taking forever. I'm not quitting. Just attack me and kill me. You have lethal. Like... Okay, so the first one is that I don't think until recently Paradox Engine became as much of an auto-include in absolutely everything, right? So I was actually looking into... I was thinking about... I've got a bunch of little topics I could cover for videos, right? Some are higher effort, some are lower effort. The thing that I learned from that last Banned in Historic Brawl video one was that even simple topics require a lot more research than I thought they would. And so I'm a little hesitant to make a video about Paradox Engine, like in Historic Brawl, and making the argument for it being banned or not banned. I'm personally leaning... Am I leaning towards it being banned? Who are we playing against? Tyvar Kell, which means it's probably Elf Tribal, which means they probably have Craterhoof Behemoth in the 99. Mantower. Anyway, so I started looking into Paradox Engine, and one of the main things I was looking at was why is it banned in Commander, right? In Commander, it's like, okay, we banned this because it creates a bunch of come from behind wins really easy. I think this is the right choice because it lets me do Alaundo next turn. So, anyway, that's why it's banned in Commander. It's like, come behind wins, comes out of nowhere, upsets the game, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it was always like that in Historic Brawl. I think it was a valuable enabler for a little bit, right? Where it was your win condition in decks like Joria and Acerak, right? Like, you take Paradox Engine out and those decks die. There's a couple more as well. And then we get Rusko Emery, Yeah, okay. Emery's been around for ages. I guess I never played against the Paradox Engine version of Emery. But it was just like, it's an enabler. And then Rusko comes in, and now it just starts to feel like it slots into everything now because of how many mana rocks get run, which I think is probably what happened with... let's see. Ooh, Swarm Guild Mage. Yes, this is very much forced elf to tribal, which means they are probably ramping up into their big things. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a real big problem. Oh, on the other hand, if they're... Yep. Command Zone. Yeah. And I have a bunch of control-y spells in this. Yeah. So anyway, that's my crackpot theory on what happened with Paradox Engine, is that we've gone from a point with the format, like, has a, like, so for example, Commander, you run Soul Rock. Every deck runs Soul Rock. We went from a point with Soul Rock being in every list to Soul Rock not so much doing that. Why did you just play Tyvar? I have a 4/4 flyer. How do you think this ends? Do I do something really spicy here? I think I do. Probably a bad choice, but, I'm an asshole? Yeah. So, I think that shift over into more, mana rocks has meant the Paradox Engine, all of a sudden, you can just slot it into anything and it's really good. Yeah. Well, I get one more turn. Though I probably should have just searched for... I probably should have just taken the 4 and searched, rather than killing that, but whatever. I thought it was interesting. I feel like... We'll see. Elves having less board is good. I don't like it when elf cards have board. No board for elves. 5-drop next turn. I have no good 5-drops. No, I've got Teferi. What am I talking about? I have no 2 sources of blue is what I don't have. This is pretty bad. Okay, I want to show the curve for this deck after this, because this is a weird... Ageless Insight. Yep. Yeah, that was a very late addition to the deck, though. I was like, hey, wait a minute, this is a card draw trigger. It is if you can get them both out. Like, you could probably redo Alaundo as a care about second card per turn commander. I just did it as, like, originally it was just, hey, can I cast big stuff with it? Then it was like, hey, I can cast small stuff with it. Any of the Thirsts would also probably be good additions. Most of the time I care less about making a... Okay, so you can cast Tyvar, but if you do, he dies. Spicy. Actually, you can cast Tyvar and he still probably doesn't die, but you will lose at least 1 elf. Most of the time I care about making decks where I can show off the interesting thing that the commander can do on stream, right? More than I care about doing interesting stuff. Or not doing interesting stuff. Than I do about making a deck that is consistently wins, right? That said, there's probably a bunch of easy spots for slots in this. Like, for example, Fade from History. That's purely because I'm tired of just playing against Go Shintai and having no answers. Teferi's Ageless Insight would be cool. Drawing another blue land, that'd be cool. I like drawing blue lands. These have reach. I should probably put Teferi's Angel's Insight into... Oh, no, I should probably put... Technically Ancient Silver Dragon. Just because everything else I'm kind of far off from being able to do anything with. But yeah, Paradox Engine is weird. I think that it didn't used to be a problem. I think it's become a problem. But I'd still want to go look at, like, the other thing I wanted to look at, right? And this is the part where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this as a project. Was I want to go look at, and I got this, all of the deck list from the CHB leagues over on the other server and get a bunch of info out of that. And then when I finish harvesting, okay, that person timed out. I think I want to do, let's see how the stream is going. I'll keep streaming for a bit. We've got a couple viewers. But basically, I want to see if it's actually performing like as good as people say it is, and if it's as overpopulated, right? So the reason I made that every card that's banned in Historic Vol video is I wanted basically ammunition for any future arguments that I make about why cards should be banned. And in terms of Paradox Engine, the easiest card to argue that it should quote-unquote be banned is actually Nexus of Fate, and that it enables a infinite loop play pattern that's very difficult to resolve in a digital format. And that's aggravating as hell. Yeah, this is what I don't get. This deck is mostly 1, 2, and 3 drops. And that game, I just drew everything up here. So, yeah. Yeah. Paradox Engine's really good. But anyway, yeah, that's true. But anyway, so Nexus of Fate. So the actual reason Nexus of Fate is banned, Nexus of Fate is banned in best of 1 formats because it's viewed as too powerful, basically, if your opponent doesn't know it's coming. But if you can sideboard against it, it's like, yeah, that's fair, right? Like, I think the idea being you should be able to sideboard Graveyard Hate. So, we have 1 drops, we have 2 drops, we have Brazen Borrower so that we can put Gix back in their hand on turn 3 after they play it. Yeah. Yeah. So, that's the thing though, right? Is that like if I'm trying to make an argument that is this Gix Shadowborn Apostle? Is this something new? That is really funny. I think that's what this is. That's actually hilarious. I love this. Oh my god, it is. Did they? I never saw that. This is really funny. So they're gonna do... So is this just a... Oh, they didn't get their... I feel bad for them about that. That's unfortunate. I don't feel that bad because if they get... So what did they toss? Deadly Dispute? The Brothers War one? I looked at those decks and everybody's like, nah, Mishra just gets stuffed every time. I'm like, okay, then I'm not playing it. No attacks. End turn. I can always do Alaundo whenever. They need 2 more, right? That's a real... This is a really funny list. Aw. Come on! I actually wanted to play against that. I haven't seen that one before. Big F. Did I have fun? I mean, technically, yes. I like winning. Technically less. They shouldn't have... I don't know, they shouldn't have kept... I feel like you don't keep on 2, right? But... Or alternately, like... Maybe they just didn't have quite enough Shadowborn Apostles? Oh good, it's Joda. Why am I being matched into you? This actually is kind of a keepable opening hand. That's a spicy assumption, though. I've learned that keeping a 2-land opening hand is a bad idea, he said as he keeps the 2-land opening hand. Okay, so I know it's a bad idea, but that doesn't mean that I actually, like, follow my own advice. They should have... If you're going to build the deck around it, you should have more than one payoff, though. Like, I don't... Okay, Brainstorm. What do we got? Bubble Snare. Oh, Gargoth, go back. Bubble Snare goes on top. Gilded Goose. Turn 3 should probably be the Oracle, as boring as it is. Assuming that I don't get investigated to death. Alright. Oracle is boring, but probably a better use of stuff than... That's not a land. How is it that I draw this every game? It's supposed to be like a weird late game bomb. Okay, so this is just Joda ramp, which means they're successfully ramping. Well, at least I get an extra card. Boring. I don't have 2 sources of green. This is what I get for, Alright, they've got their 5. Green, yep, they've got the 5. Okay, that's lovely. I'm about to be on the receiving end of probably a bunch of painful stuff. Yep. At least this person's playing with some level of aggression, which I appreciate. I always like it when people actually try to win at Magic, as opposed to... So they don't have... If I got rid of both those, they would have no black, but that's not going to be enough to actually turn this game. Come was a good card. That might be game. That is probably game. I respect this, though. Yes, it is 5-color good stuff, but it's 5-color good stuff that's trying to actually win the video game. Opt does not do anything for me here. Bubble Snare. And... Angrius out into play. Over. Get rid of Mixed Bloom Ancient. Doesn't make much of a difference, but, you know, it makes me feel better. Actually, technically, we'll see. If they do something really silly, it makes a difference. Oh, an attempt was made. Let's go for one more win, and then we will call it. Next win, we will end the stream. Oh god, it's elf, it's black, it's elf tribal again. Abomination of Llanowar. Usually... Yeah, where was this hand when I needed it last game? Alright. Command tower. End turn. Fabled. Let's see what they get. Green, which means the rest of their hand is probably black. Search. Stinging lionfish could probably be cut. It was mostly in here as a... Huh, this is an untap engine spell. That's a land. We like those. Clever Conjurer. What's the flavor text for this? Run, scream to the living mouths, come, cried the dead ones. You are not technically a land. Thank you. And I can only do this at sorcery speed, so let's do that now. Why did I not untap Command Tower? Ugh, I am tired. Does Abomination of Llanowar also use Craterhoof, or does it have something else? There's a bunch of elf tribal decks. I should probably, like, study them specifically at some point. Oh, it's Nissa. Hmm. I say. I would like Nissa to die. How do I make that happen? Probably by putting... Maybe by putting Abomination back into your hand. Yep, I'll take it. Though, I guess that does slow me down a little bit. Actually, sorry, so I should be doing probably this. Now I have green for Veil if I need it. I don't expect to need it, but I don't like you just letting have Nissa. Oh, but you can just get Nissa back. Nah, this is still probably the right choice. That's 6. Oh, they're actually going to do it. Spicy. That is quite big. Uh-oh. Well, I am taking 2. And then I'm healing up 2 more. But Heroic Intervention. I actually kind of want that. Oh, I've been wanting to try this guy out. I don't have the 2 blue for it, do I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have tapped that. Let's do this. We're gonna put Veil. Yeah, we're gonna put Veil into hiding. Now we're gonna tap you. We'll pay you. Will I still have... Let's try it. We're gonna push our luck here. I need to live 1 or 2 turns. Oracle's not great. I want to take a beating this turn as well, which I don't love, but... Yep, I want to take 16. Exile opt. Untap Alaundo. Exile Bubble Snare. Cast Opt. Do I need Angrius right now? Not really. I like you. Keep you. Decline. Alright. So, I can... Do I have an infinite combo? I think I have an infinite combo. Whenever you draw a card, tap for 2. Tap Great Henge. Activate ability, draw a card. Do Allosaurus Shepherd. Yep. Untap Clever Conjurer. Cast normally, put on to Storev. Untap Alaundo. I don't... Maybe it's not actually infinite combo. Whenever I cast a spell... there's something here, but I'm not quite seeing it, and that makes me sad. Yep. Yeah. I want to be limited by my blue mana, though, aren't I? Tap that. I'm limited by casting creature spells. Auto pay 1. Exile Midnight Clock. Auto pay 1. And I have enough mana open to still do the combat to defend myself, yes? exile, they'll leave rid of that. Untap Clever Conjurer. 7 Spinnerets, untap Alaundo. Okay, nope, give me full control, game. This is... I want to put more abilities on the stack. This is instant speed. Alright, let's do that. Let's cast. I can't push this any further because I need to have 2 mana open for the other thing. I guess we have Shore Up. Let's draw a card. Too many lands. Okay, if they... do they have Crater Hoof Behemoth in hand? Okay. It's not over yet, though. Even if they Crater Hoof Behemoth, I think I have an out. I might not, though. Allosaurus Shepherd is a problem. What do I have? 12, 13, 14. I need to tap down as much of their stuff as possible. They still have no more mana. Let's tap you. Yep. Tap or untap target creature. Tap 1. Tap 2. Tap 3. Do I have 25 on my board? Alright. I'll take it! That's a victory. We will wrap this up here. Bit of a goofy deck, but for anybody who did stop by, thanks for stopping by. We're going to finish up the stream here. Oh, I like it. I like it. It would need some tuning to be very good, though. Alaundo's kind of fun. Does suffer from the protection thing, but at least he does some fun little wonky combo stuff. So that's where we're going to end the stream for today. As always, anybody who stopped by, thanks for watching. If you like my stuff, maybe consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. If you got any feedback, please let me know in the comments. Same thing for any questions, concerns, anything else. I might be streaming some stuff tomorrow, mostly potentially related to the new Phyrexia set, but I also might just make a video for that one. I haven't really decided yet. We'll see how that works out. Either case, talk to folks tomorrow. or next week as it turns out. Take care. See you then. Bye.